All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Toast. My name is D,
My name is Eric.
and today we are here at the Mendez
Injury firm.
Injury Firm with
Eileen Mendez,
and
Eber Mendez.
related.
married.
Oh. And what type of firm is this?
A personal injury. Basically, if you're ever injured and it's because somebody else was negligent, we go after the negligent person to get you recovered for your injuries.
So is this like my daughter always sings it, Anorphine Pfizer.
What is that?
You've never heard that on the
No.
radio? Finer.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's the same as
Yes.
it's like Anna Jar Levine.
Yes. Ruben, Morgan, all of that. But a smaller boutique version.
Boutique version. What's the difference between a boutique version and like one of these more commercial companies? Would it be quality of service, more intimate service?
There's a lot of differences.
Oh.
I think the bigger you grow, the more you compartmentalize different departments and you have different people handling different things. And there's not really like a synergy across the board. Like you might not be talking to an attorney because the case just never gets there. When you're dealing with a boutique firm, everybody knows what's going on. So when you call, anybody really could help you. And it's easier to get access to an attorney. When you're dealing with a bigger firm, it becomes a little harder because unless you're at a certain stage, it doesn't move to the attorney.
I understand.
A certain stage. So hold on, let me crack my Spindrift.
Spindrift. Ooh.
Where'd you get them at?
I have no idea.
Costco. Right?
Awesome.
I think Costco is one of their biggest, I guess, sellers. Hold on.
It could be Costco. We went to Costco last week.
Yo, the toast. And in my Mendez,
Those are $500 microphones.
my
Sorry.
Mendez injury, my Mendez injury mug. No, but it didn't land on the mic. We're good. So, you're good, bro.
So
You said so. In the bigger firms, you said that it once it reaches to a certain point, it doesn't reach to the like the attorney level.
Unless you have a really big case, it's going to be difficult for you to talk to the attorney, right? There's people that handle the case along the way, and they're not necessarily doing a bad job. A lot of those people are very capable, and sometimes they do an even better job than the attorney. But if you want to talk to the attorney, it's a little bit more difficult unless you have what they consider to be a big case or unless it's something that is very active in the litigation phase.
Right. So, what makes a case a big case?
The injuries,
The
This-
type of injury.
the type of injury, and the type of policy involved.
So, if there's a death, that would be considered a big injury.
Yeah, well,
Well, does that fall under injury?
well, yes, because there was an injury that caused the death. So it was a big injury that resulted in the death.
and you probably deal a lot in probate.
We don't when you have those kinds of cases, you do get a probate attorney involved because there is a probate aspect of it, and a state does have to be open because the funds have to be processed by the representative of the estate. But you don't get a lot of those cases.
And what got you into well, first of all, let's rewind a little bit. Let's have a little fun here. So, Miss Mendez, your first name again was
Eileen.
Eileen. How did you meet this hunk here to your left?
There was a period of time where I stopped working as an attorney, I guess. Well, I was still working as an attorney, but not really doing attorney stuff. During COVID, I got involved in some contracts with the state and at a firm or really a company where he used to work, and then we met at his old job.
Which was?
CDR McGuire.
And that was it. It was just love was in the air.
Well,
Oh, see, this is where we go. This is where we peel back the onion. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to learn about the Mendez firm? Now we are.
Yeah, but the problem is you peel back the onion, that's when you start crying.
Yeah.
nah. Ooh, no crying here.
How big is the onion?
That's it. Yeah.
No, I think we moved pretty fast. I think there was some time that he was pursuing me and I was just not taking him seriously because I didn't think he was serious. He's also, how do I put this? I don't want to say a flirt, but lo mismo that he comes in and he's like chit chatting with the 75-year-old lady from HR and like, you know, throwing piropos, and then the same thing to me. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, this is just his personality, and he's just, you know, a happy, funny, go-lucky guy, and he's just messing with everybody. I didn't realize that, like, with me, it was a little, like, it was serious.
So you had Riz.
Yes.
He has Riz. Has Riz. But I didn't, he has Riz, but I was a little oblivious to the intentions.
To the Riz.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
The
so
Rizness.
no attentions with that, but like, what did you think of him?
I thought he was funny.
Is it?
I thought he was funny. I mean, he's good. I've always thought he was good looking.
He
I
is
thought
good
he was
looking. You should
funny.
have seen him in high school.
Yeah. No, I've seen him in high school. Trust me. I've seen him in high school.
Really?
Come on. He was an athlete. Like, of course, he's going to show you all his glory
So going back to high school, me and him went to high school together.
Oh, what high school is that?
To Matter.
Yeah.
Matter.
Yeah.
Matter Academy?
Matter Academy.
Which one?
Hialeah Gardens?
Highly Gardens.
Yeah. We actually met before that, though. We played baseball. Baseball actually linked us together.
Like Corey League or?
Yeah, we're in Miami Lakes Optimus. We met for the first time. That
Yeah.
was in, bro, I don't know. I think
So
I was
you're-
like 10 years old.
Yeah, we were like 10, 11 years old.
You're originally from Hialeah area?
Hialeah, yeah.
And you're
Born and raised in Hialeah.
Miami Lakes or Hialeah? Out of Hialeah.
I heard if you go north of 68th Street towards the Goldman Bridge, that's Miami Lakes. But it's Hialeah, though. But there's a little thing there that you say that you live in Miami Lakes, but you're really in Hialeah.
But it's the opposite because he always says he's from Hialeah, and I'm always like, you're from Miami Lakes, bro. Like, this is Miami Lakes.
The mail that we would get in the house said Hialeah.
Yeah, the zip code. That's why I
The
said
zip
depending on
code.
the zip code.
I go by color of garbage cans.
It's green.
Well,
Oh,
that depends
so-
because
so then that's
you can live in
Kansas.
Hialeah,
And still have county pickup.
unincorporated Miami-Dade.
Correct.
So
And Eileen, where'd you go to high school?
Ooh, not Miami. I went to high school in Naples.
So you're not originally from Miami?
So I moved. I wasn't born in Miami. I was born in Cuba.
Okay.
We moved to Miami when I was like 7. When I was like 12, we moved to Naples, and then when I was 18, we moved back to Miami. So it's like I've been a little bit all over the place, but then once we moved back to Miami, like this is
home.
This is home.
So what do you want to like? And this is where you guys want to put your roots, like embed your roots.
I think so.
You guys have children?
We do.
Two children.
Oh, 2 children.
nice.
Boy, girl, girl.
Two
girl.
boys.
2 boys. The ages?
4 and 2.
What is it? Terrible twos? Are they
Ter-
terrible?
He's not 2 yet. He turns 2 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank God you guys are an injury firm, huh?
He's funny. He has a lot of, both of them are funny, man. We're enjoying it. They have a lot of character. They test they definitely test our limits, but it's hard not to laugh. Like even when they're doing, you know, the crazy stuff, they're like, "What the fuck is happening?" We look at each other and we're like, "Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. Be serious. You have to be serious. You have to reprimand them." And then we like turn around and we're laughing because they're always doing the funniest things.
It's crazy because sometimes it happens to me. I just have to walk away.
No.
I'm biting my inner cheese, walking away, and then my wife is staring at me, and I'm like, bro.
And it's going to get to a point because my daughter turns 12 now, at the end of April, and where they outsmart you. And it's crazy.
Does it get easier or harder?
It gets harder. It gets harder. It gets harder, but funner, right? Like for me as a parent, and I think I spoke about it, there was a stage of like, if I can go back, I'd do it again. And I do a lot of things differently. I'd be a little more committed and present, right? I was young. I was new in my career, so I was ambitious, and I didn't really get to dedicate. I didn't get to enjoy like the baby part and the toddler. Right after whatever that part is after toddler, like where she was kind of independent, where hey, you could sit down. I had a realization in life and kind of did a little bit of a course correction. But now it's fun. I get to coach her. Like she likes flag football. She plays volleyball.
Cool.
But she's, you know, she's educating herself amongst her friends, amongst what she sees. Now, you know, we monitor what she can see on her iPad. However, she still sees things on her iPad. And she's witty. So I'll tell her, for example, the seatbelt. I'm horrible with putting my seatbelt on. So I'll tell her, baby, put your seatbelt on. How about when you put your seatbelt on, I'll put my seatbelt on.
Wow.
So
Do
it's
as I say and not as I do.
Exactly. But now it's kind of we're in the generation of it's not what's taught, it's what's sought, right? So it gets interesting, and it's fun and it's trying because I'm a little bit of the old school foot up the ass type of parenting, right? My wife is very strict, disciplined. However, more of the let's communicate and talk about this. I would be flying across the room into like a closet,
Figure it out. Yeah.
But also, I'm a boy, so I don't know if it's different because I'm a boy and she's a girl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How about you
I
guys?
think
What do you
that's
think?
normal. I mean, with me, they do whatever the hell they want with me. Like
Yeah.
they don't
You
respect me. My kids do not respect
Do
me.
you hit them?
I don't hit them. And I laugh all the time. Every time they do something, me da por reírme. And then the little one already knows. So he does something bad and his reaction is not like, his reaction is to laugh and look at me and wait for me to laugh. So I'm chopped liver. They respect him. He doesn't have to hit him. He just looks at them and they know.
You
They're
just
like,
walk into a room.
and if he just talks to them in like a stern way, they like get emotional. It's like, wait, what the hell? Why are you talking to me like
if
that?
you do that, like I think we all had that. Our parents, our dads, or typically probably our dads, even your mom, they had a look, right? And so I think we want to embed our children with that look early.
Oh, he has the look mastered.
The whole laughing thing was giving the look, right?
Yeah.
So I started off by just giving the look, and I'll give the look and the stare and the look and the stare. And this kid, Alexa, whatever, she'll like cover her face and just stare like that. But Brandon, he'll stare at me like this.
And
then it turns
trying.
So then I
Trying
figured
it.
out that I gotta go past that step, right? So now it's the stare. We'll stare. When I see that I'm gonna start laughing, I'll call him over. And I don't do the screaming in front of everybody, that show.
Yeah.
Come over. He'll bring over. And then walk away. That little 10 seconds that I'm telling him certain things in his ear, and he'll just look at me.
Is there foul language within those sweet things?
No.
That's the hard part now, me with my daughter, and my wife gets on my ass. And she has every right. I'll use profanity. So my daughter will be, she'll be doing kid shit, like fucking up on a test or something. And my daughter's a good kid. Like, she's an honor roll kid. So I'll be like, hey, I don't give a shit. Stop fucking around. Or I'll say something like that. And my wife will be like, Danny?
Danny?
I'm like, no, that's kind of like my way. Rather than hitting her, like, I don't, she hears the profound, oh, dad's cursing. This is serious
It's gonna be
shit.
serious. So she already knows that. So it's kind of like with Brandon, he knows that when it goes from the stare to the
sweet nothings. Yeah.
And it comes to the ear talk, then he's like, oh shit, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because then that means we've modified the way we were parented because, again, the way I was parented was like un bofetón or,
right. Which I think works, but then you gotta fix that because sometimes like the whole screaming in front of people, you can raise your voice at home, but then in public, I don't know.
It's chumheria.
Yeah. So, Miss Mendez or Mrs. Mendez, you went to school in Naples.
I did.
What school?
Palmetto Ridge High School, which is in the Golden Gate Estates in Emilio Monte.
You gotta show love to your high school, your alma mater.
I do.
So yeah.
So what are they there like?
The Bears.
The Bears. Are
Bears.
you a
Who's
proud
the
bear?
Eagles?
The Eagles. I want to say that's Golden Gate. I honestly don't remember.
By the mall, I think. There's a mall there, the nice school.
By the mall, it's like Collier County High School. There's a handful. So I know I was the Bears. Yeah. Because we were in the middle of the woods where there were bears. So it made sense.
That's crazy. Imagine walking to school.
It's funny how every county has like the Bulldogs, the Bears, the Eagles, the Falcons. Like, we gotta get a little more creative with our team names. Get with the times.
It's just like the school and then the mascot, right?
Correct. The Patriots.
Yeah.
The Crusaders.
And then graduated high school over there.
I did.
At that time, you were still living over there with your parents, I'm assuming.
The day that I graduated high school, we literally drove back. My parents had already moved to Miami, but me and my mom were staying there so I could finish.
So it was already pre-planned to come back.
So I could finish and graduate, and then literally like the day of graduation or the day after graduation, me and my mom drove down and everything was already here.
Okay. And then you kind of went to school here?
I went to FIU.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Panthers.
The Panthers.
I went to FIU.
You're the Panthers. Political science major?
Political science and economics.
Okay.
I was a bit of a nerd in high school, and then I had like all the credits for a bachelor in economics by the time that I got to FIU, so I kind of got both.
You just went with it.
Yeah,
And criminal justice.
not criminal justice.
No, political
Political
science.
science and economics. Political science is something I thought I had to do to go to law school, but I didn't know any better. You could literally go to law school with any degree.
With any degree.
With any degree.
Oh.
So now when people come to talk to me and they're like, I want to go to law school, what's your advice? I'm like, pick the easiest degree that you could get the highest GPA you can get in. Pick music, pick theology, pick dance, pick anything.
Well, that's really good advice.
But
Yeah.
why the highest GPA? Because they go.
So it's not based off of curriculum, what you studied.
Right.
It's how committed you were, like the grade.
It's based on your grades and your LSAT score.
That's it.
That's it.
So
Well, you have letters of rec and
Yeah, and they
stuff
do
like that.
background to see
And background
your
checks. But
experience.
really, what they're really looking at is just your GPA and your LSAT score.
To get into law school.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, did you stay at FIU?
I did. I stayed at FIU, and then I went to St. Thomas,
good school.
and then I transferred to UM.
There
the
it
U.
is. There it is. Got some kings over here.
I know. And how was that experience?
The transferring part,
Or being at the U?
it was fun. It's a good school. It's a great curriculum. I met a lot of people there that are in very prestigious positions today. I mean, I think part of the reason to transfer to UM is because it has like a reputation of being like the Harvard of the South. So people want to go to UM for the prestige, which was part of the reason why I wanted to go there. In retrospect, maybe it wasn't the best idea because the student loans are serious stuff, but
How was the network building though?
it was good.
But do you think it would be the network build? So like, I say this a lot, and I had this conversation I think with Eric, about schooling. Like sometimes you're also paying for the network of people that you're going to be around. So do you think you would have gotten the same network, say, if you went to Nova?
To be completely frank, I think my network, my closest friends, are people that I met in St. Thomas, not people that I met at UM. Because your first year of law school is a completely different experience than year 2 and year 3. So year 1, it's like boot camp, right? Like they're telling you what to do. They're giving you your schedule. They're telling you who your teachers are. And it's like very rigorous and very competitive. So the people that you are sharing your schedule with that year, you go to school together, you study together, you do everything together. Your second year, your third year is a little different because then you get to pick your own schedule, you get to pick your own classes, and it's not like the same people all day, every day, same assignments, same everything. So I do have a network from people in UM that I do appreciate, and I do think it's very valuable. But the people that I feel like I'm very close to and the people that I really call when I need something is the people that were in my network from St. Thomas. And those people have, I mean, I did transfer because of the prestige and all that, but those people have achieved very prestigious positions as well. And sometimes even more prestigious than the people that I met that are at UM.
So
We've heard a lot from your wife, Mr. Mendez.
I'm very talkative.
Why don't you catch me up to that point from high school, from
So,
after high school?
Like Eric was saying earlier, I went to high school with him, and we went to Mater Academy. After we graduated, I went to Barry University for like 1 semester to try to play baseball. Then I transferred to a school up in Orlando in Babson Park called Weber International University. I was there for about 2 years.
What were you studying?
I studied criminal justice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would you had after the baseball thing, you had intentions to going the law?
Yeah,
Pursue law?
I liked the law, and so I was very interested in it at a young age, and I was like, oh, I think I could do a career probably in criminal justice,
As far as like attorney, law enforcement?
probably law enforcement. At
Okay.
that time, I wanted to do something where I could make, I think, money at a young age, and I thought a career in law enforcement would probably be the route that I would go, and I was at Weber for 2 years, and then I decided to come back to Miami. And at that point, I wanted to kind of like have a career. Obviously, I didn't have a degree yet, so I was like, I can't get a a good job without,
That piece of paper.
yeah.
You need that piece of paper.
Yeah, it was very important. So then at that point, I was like, what can I do to, kind of facilitate me making, decent amount of money at a young age? So I decided to join the police academy in Miami-Dade School of Justice. And I stopped going to school at that point, obviously, because I went to the police academy full time.
Okay.
So I did that. That was like about 6, 8 months. I graduated, and then when I graduated the police academy, I went back to school. So while I was trying to get hired as a law enforcement officer, I decided, let me go back to school so it could help me get hired, because at that point I wasn't getting hired, and at that point it was like a lot of the Black Lives Matter. So they weren't really hiring as much. So it was very difficult.
Yeah, it was
to
kind
get
of a
hired.
little bit of a hiring freeze, right?
Yeah. So and at that point I didn't know anything. I didn't have any connections
So
to
you said-
anybody.
So you said, "Fuck it, let me keep building the resume."
Correct. I said, well, let me.
Smart move.
Yeah, I'm like, let me continue building the resume, while hopefully I would get picked up. So I was applying in places, and then I was like, let me continue my education. So at that point, I enrolled in Miami-Dade College, and a lot of the professors that were in the police academy were also teaching in the School of Justice for Criminal Justice, in Miami-Dade College. So it was a smooth transition. And again, a lot of the stuff that I learned in the police academy, they were teaching for the bachelor's in criminal justice. So then I graduated from Miami-Dade College with my criminal justice degree, and then I never got picked up. That was like 2 or 3 years after my certification. After you graduate,
And you haven't met your wife at this point yet.
no, at this point, no. At this point, I'm just young and trying to advance as much as possible in my career. So I never got picked up. And at that point, I was like, I need to find something else to do. I need to do something. So I started doing security. And I was working at the collection as one of like a supervisor of security, because at that point I had my associate's degree and I was about to graduate with my bachelor's, and I became a security guard, and I was making decent money. And then at that point, once I graduated, I started working for the company we spoke about earlier, CDR. And at that point, I kind of transferred because I never got picked up, so my certification expired. So I was like, I didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
I gotta, I need a plan B. So I started
That's when
working.
you met her.
Yes.
That's-
Well, fast forward.
Whoa, why do you say it? Yes.
We fast forward like 3 years that I was there, because I was with that company for about 4 to 5 years.
So that's why he had so much riz. Because,
Yeah.
he was a legend.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
a
Senior.
He was a
I
senior
jumped
veteran.
in- I was just there for a few months. I jumped in to help with COVID stuff, and then I was
So
back
you were the rookie.
She was. I was there. I taught her the ropes there, and
Okay.
So with all this school talk, right, and marriage and business, because this is obviously a business, right? Do you treat your marriage like a business?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
Is it hard not? That was gonna be a question. Like, is it hard working with your companion?
For
At
me,
first, I think at first.
for me, I don't think so. I've always worked. When I was younger, I worked with my brother, and then I've worked also with my dad as well. So I've always been able to kind of like, this is business and we're working, and I kind of separate it between like family and business. So I've always had that approach where, like, when we come to work, this is work, and then after work we could, then it's personal.
I think it only works if both of you have that same mindset.
I'm learning.
You're learning.
I hold a
which
grudge.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. As
We
long
go
as-
home and sometimes I'm like, I'm still upset.
Well,
Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
I told her, and I told her all the time, you got to differentiate work and personal, like us being married.
because the kids see that shit.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. I stay in
That's
my
good.
lane. I stay in my lane. I don't. He has his role here. I have my role here, and we don't really overlap.
Maybe the fact that you guys identified it as a companion, like as companions, as a group team, the fact that you identified that and are working towards that says a lot.
Yeah, well,
Says a
that-
lot about you guys personally,
Well,
as
that-
individuals and personally. right?
Yeah, that means communication for you guys is probably like the most important thing, right?
It is.
100%.
It has to be.
Which
So
is clear and cut here at Mendez, that the Mendez firm, right?
the communication
The
part.
communication.
Of course. So that's what I was gonna ask. Would it benefit you? And I'm asking this question because I don't know. Would it benefit you if he were to go to law school, become an attorney?
Oh, I tell him all the time I want him to. I
Yeah.
want him to. I don't know if it would benefit us because I think he does his role very well. He's an operations person. I'm not. So like it's being a lawyer is very different than being a business owner. It's two completely different roles. And I'm good at being a lawyer. I'm not so good at being a business owner. I know my flaws and that's his strength. So he knows how to be a boss. He knows how to manage people. He knows how to set systems in place and policies and procedures and how to keep track of what's going on to make sure that everybody's doing what they're doing. I'm learning. So I think even if he were to go to law school, he would probably like to stay in that role because it's what he likes to do. But he also likes what I do. So I'm like, well, maybe if you go to law school, then you could go to court because sometimes court now everything's on Zoom. So he's like in the background listening and he's like, you should have said this. You should have said that. Or like, why don't you tell this? Or like before my hearing, he'll be like, okay, this is what you're going to say. And I'm like, just go to law school, bro. You got this.
So what I probably shouldn't say this, but I talk about it all the time. If he does, right, what do you think how do you think that would be able to help her out if you could become an attorney?
Well, I mean, it would help. We won't have to hire another attorney as the cases keep coming in. Obviously, the workload she could only handle so much.
Why don't you just hire a paralegal?
We have
We
one.
have paralegal.
We have
Because then
paralegal.
I also think as like the office manager, like nobody's gonna watch your wife's back like you.
Oh no, 100%.
So then, like, you'd have to be somebody, pay them a salary because yeah, you'd be in law school. I would assume you'd take a hit for a little bit,
Yeah.
but I agree with Eric. I and your wife. I agree with the growth. If you see, it's gonna be a hit, but in the long run, beneficial for your two kids and to your wife. I think that's the route to go.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You could retire her.
Whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if he would become an attorney, retire her, and she doesn't have to physically be working cases or anything. He'll be taking the caseload, and she'll spend time with the family, spend time with the kids.
Or vice versa, or you guys hump, no pun intended. You guys do it for like 3 years and see what happens, and then you guys. I think there's always got to be a time in everything in life where it's like
The
we have to
like time.
reassess.
Him going to law school. What do you think? You gonna do
No,
it?
I think so. I want to do it. I studied criminal justice and I like the law, and I think it's something definitely that we've talked about, and it's very interesting and appealing, and I think I would like it as well. So, and I think it's a challenge as well, because obviously it's not easy, but I think I like those type of challenges. And after I finished my bachelor's, I went ahead and I got my master's in disaster management at FIU. So a lot of your colleagues win and they get that degree of disaster management, because I guess it just helps them out. But going back to what we were talking about, I worked at this company. I did emergency management. They were an engineering company, and they did emergency management. So then,
That's what I consult with.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So basically, I went back, and then since I had criminal justice and it wasn't anything that I was doing because I was doing emergency management. At that point, the owner came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I need someone," and this was a fairly new degree. I was the second or third class that graduated from FIU, from this program of disaster management, and my boss at that time was like, "Hey, I'll pay for you to go to school. I need someone. So when we do all these proposals to go after contracts with the government, we could, show that we have people
Like
that
with
are
FEMA.
experts." Exactly. Yeah. We'll get contracts with the state of Florida,
Sweet
with
gig.
Miami-Dade County. Yeah, it was super sweet gig and very good money. So at that point, I was like, I'm all in. From instead of doing criminal justice, I'll do this, and I'm helping out people, because at the end of the day, the reason why I wanted to do criminal justice is because you help out. You're giving back to the community, and you're helping people in need. So, and in emergency management, it's kind of the same, where you're helping people in need after a hurricane, after a natural disaster. So I kind of complemented it, and I think it went very well in the transition period. And it was a very interesting field.
Talking about helping people, how did you get into injury, like injury attorney?
Like, did you when you go to law school, you graduate? So I guess you do pre-law, right? No, so
do
Saint
anything.
well, so St. Thomas is considered what?
St. Thomas is a law school.
So you went to law school and then you went to a second law school.
No, you go FIU.
Uh-huh.
You graduate FIU or Miami-Dade, and you get your bachelor's,
Okay.
and then you apply to law school, and it's just a 3-year program across the board. There's some schools that do it in 2. There's some schools that do it in 4. It depends, but law school is just one program.
And then, but when you graduate law school, did they help you find a job, or did you like apply? Did you go to state attorney's office?
The schools have like a career department, and sometimes they try to place you, and there's a lot of firms that will go and do like on-campus interviews for the kids that are there. For me, I performed really well, and UM has what's called a litigation skills class, and that's a class that a lot of people take, and it's like hundreds of students, and then like the top, I don't remember, I think it's like the top 5 at the end get an award for like excelling in the class and doing really well. I performed really well in that class. And that class is basically arguing like you're presenting in front of court.
Time out. So what's really well?
I got a scholarship based on my performance in that class. I think I did pretty well.
What?
So she probably got top 5. I'm
Top
assuming, right?
5?
You don't know which one you are. It's just like there's a few scholarships that are handed out at the end of the class to the top performers, but
Listen,
you don't know.
And
If you're getting free money from somewhere, you did good.
you know
Yeah.
what?
I did do good. Thank you.
She did good.
And after I did that course, the professor was telling me you should go be either a state attorney or a public defender.
So you're a good litigator.
I am a good litigator. I was a good litigator. I think over time, at the beginning, I started as a public defender. You're in court every day.
So you're good at arguing.
I am very good at
Is she
arguing.
good at arguing?
She is.
Unfortunately
She doesn't
for
want to
her.
lose, but I'm a good arguer as well. So
He is. So I did well in that class, and then they told me if you want to litigate, you gotta go be a public defender or a state attorney, right? You want to go be, an associate at a big firm. All you're gonna do is push paper, right? You're never gonna see a courtroom. You're never gonna argue a case. You're never gonna take a depo. You're never gonna really get into the weeds of the case. You're just gonna be support in the background, handing the attorney paperwork and assisting them in the things that they want to kick down to you.
Wow.
If you want to be in court, if you want to litigate, which at that point I was like, no, I was born to be a litigator. I'm a star. Put me in the courtroom right now. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll apply. I applied to Miami-Dade. But my thing is that I applied to Miami-Dade. I took long to submit my paperwork to the Florida bar to get my background check cleared. And I applied to Miami-Dade. I did really well in my interviews. But
When you say Miami, the state attorneys?
the state attorneys and both. I
Oh,
applied
okay.
to both. I didn't care. I just wanted to litigate. I applied to both, but I didn't have my background check cleared. So by the time that they were handing out offers, they were only handing out offers to the kids that were already cleared, right? Because if you're not cleared, I'm not giving you an offer. I'm not
Correct.
saving you a spot. So you got to be cleared. I wasn't cleared. Broward gave me that opportunity, and they held a spot for me. And then I got...
And it was only the public defenders.
It was a public defender. And then I got my clearance, and I went right into being a public defender. I worked there for a few months. It was fun. A great group of people in court every day, every single day. And I'm a Kendall girl. I've always lived in Kendall since I moved to Miami. I was living in Kendall, driving to Broward. I had to be in court by 8 in the morning. So I was waking up like freaking before 5 a.m. I'm already waking up because I got to head out there. And then I would stay there till like 7 o'clock at night preparing all my cases because the caseload is huge. Learned a lot. Got thrown into the fire right away. Got thrown into...
But that's the best training.
Well, what's going to
Yes.
happen is that that's the reason why I would probably choose Mendes injury before anybody else, because somebody coming out of law school like how she did from the U and St. Thomas and all that, with that experience that she gained there and all the people that she met, going straight to the public defender's office in Broward, which your
Yeah.
probably turnover rate is through the roof, getting all that experience coming to injury law, when she sits down with somebody that's trying to hire and they're doing the interview on her,
There's a lot of people that there's nepotism and anything, right? Like how we were
There
saying,
is.
like the network of people for education. Like we were discussing earlier. Like there's people that, oh yeah, your uncle, your dad, oh yeah, I got a hook at this injury firm, finished law school, and you got a job. So yeah, I agree with you 100%.
but me getting injured, I'm gonna go to somebody like her.
Somebody, cause she's been through it.
She went through it.
To try- yeah.
She went in front of a judge or a jury, trials, all this stuff. I don't know how the system works in that criminal law stuff. So you went through those steps.
You sure about that?
He has an
You,
idea.
you went through those steps, right?
I was there very brief.
But you learned, and that's
I
where you got
did.
all your experience from.
I did. Well,
Right.
I got a lot of experience there, but going from criminal to civil, it's a completely different world.
But the only thing that doesn't change is the litigation part.
Correct.
Because if I hire you, because my family member got messed up, I want you to fight. I want you to push everything.
Yeah.
I don't want you just to say, hey, you know something, you need to do this because I'm scared of talking in front of people and I don't want to fight it for you. And
Yeah.
then that, not saying it like that, but it's kind of like in the criminal world, you need to take this plea. I don't want to go to trial.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
I wonder if like especially in this specific specialized field within law, like your ethics and your moral compass has to be even higher and tighter, I would assume, than like a criminal attorney, right? Because a forro, right? Everybody has fraud. So how many times have you, like, is it hard? Do you guys have like PIs or anything to go ahead and mitigate any potential fraud? Like
how do you, like somebody, like right now, there's an accident on Kendall and 117.
Eric gets into an accident. He leaves the L house right now. He wasn't drinking. Man, side note, when I was pulling into here, so many memories. Man, circa 2004, 2003, the Kendall Ale House, that was the place to be.
2004, 2003.
Brother, it was.
He was not. He was
I was in
what?
7th grade.
we were Miami Lakes afterwards.
He was playing baseball.
Oh, wow. I just aged
Yeah,
myself, huh?
you did.
That was the place to be, man. You would go Thursday nights. This was the get up. You'd wait, get home. All right. You go to your friend's house. You pick up. You pregame a little bit. Back then, there was a beer out. I don't know if you recall it, called the Ice House.
Yes.
We used to call it El Veneno, the poison, for our non-Spanish viewers, listeners. So we would get like a twacker, a 12-pack. We'd drink the El Veneno, and we would go to the ale house. Mind you, we were underage. So there's a side door that the guy that would work there, we knew a guy, of course. He'd hold a table. We'd pay him $40
Yeah,
because we're underage. But with the $40, we'd get there and we'd have our high top ready to go, and then we'd order. Good to go.
That's awesome.
Shout out
Bro,
to that guy.
Shout out to that guy. And then after that, we'd leave there and go to the Starlight Diner, which you all now know it as Apocalypse Barbecue.
Wow.
And that was the thing back then. Like if you're a Kendall kid,
I remember the start.
That was the
How was
spot.
that place? It was good.
I don't remember. I was fucking
He was drinking it. Veneno.
Veneno.
Yeah.
Sorry
somebody-
about that. So side note.
Somebody gets into an accident, right?
Uh-huh.
They call you. How do you vet
Always.
your victims?
Always.
How do you like comfort? Like, why do you do that? And like, what are the repercussions if you don't?
Well, I think reputation matters, right? On the other side, like they know if you're just taking whatever case or if your cases are serious. And for me, my reputation matters a lot. I vet my cases. You can't just come and tell me you're injured. Also, I think there's a requirement, like you need to have medical evidence to back it up. You can't just tell me you're injured. I have to see reports. I have to see recommendations, findings, MRIs. I have to see proof from a medical provider that saw you so that I know that you're injured. If I don't think you're injured, if you're not injured, if you have nothing, no evidence to prove to me that you're injured, I'm not taking the case.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how do you prove, let's say I come to you with an injury, right? And you have to go into court and fight that. How can you prove that that injury came from that accident?
Well, how are you feeling before? Really?
So by feelings and stuff like
And
that.
you put you ask your client, how are you before this accident?
Can
And how are
we
you
role
now?
Can we role play?
Sure.
Okay, ready? Man, shit. I wish I had this connected to a phone ringer, but whatever. Ring, 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 ring.
Mendes Injury Firm, how may I help you?
Hi. I just left the ale house. I was not drinking. I got into an accident. I don't have pain right now, but my wife is telling me I should call an attorney because a Miami-Dade bus hit me. What do you recommend I should do?
Well, if the accident happened right now, your adrenaline is probably through the roof and you're not going to feel anything. So I think, you should go get checked out because you might be injured and you might not even know it. And in a few days down the line, when you're sitting down for an extended period of time, you're like, crap, this hurts and it wasn't hurting before. Or when you're standing, or when you're at the gym, or when you're running, or when you're doing something that you used to before and it wasn't bothering you before, now it's bothering you because your injury might be something so subtle that you're looking at yourself and you're thinking you're fine, but you go and you get an MRI and you're like, oh crap, I have a herniated disc in my neck or I have a pinched nerve. And that's something that you don't physically see on yourself, right? That's something that through physical activity over the course of the days, it's going to get worse. The pain is going to appear. So just go get checked out. You have nothing to lose. You have personal injury protection, which is from your personal insurance, which means that they cover the first $10,000 of medical bills. So you're not going to get a bill. Go get checked out.
And this happens a lot.
Yeah.
We have a lot of clients that we get that they call us 3 or 4 days after, and they're like, "Oh, do I have a case? Because I haven't gone to get any medical treatment."
You do. If you're injured, you have a case.
Yeah.
And is there a specific amount of days that somebody can go to you?
Okay, yeah, like, hold on. Back to my scenario. All right, Miss Mendes, I really like you. I want you my attorney. First thing I got to tell you, I lied. It didn't just happen. It happened 4 days ago.
I don't think 4 days is too far removed. Now, if you call me and tell me it happened 2 months ago.
It happened this week, within the week.
If it happened within a few days,
So we're
within
gonna
a
say-
week or
Because
two,
then now you would have
reasonable amount of time.
a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
You have a police report now. Hey, okay, now I called you.
Well, like how she said,
You kinda
my
freak-
your adrenaline is through the roof.
Yeah.
Right. So 2 days later, a day later, you wake up and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm bad. Then
Yeah.
So we
or
call
it
you.
could be it could be different too, right? Because the client may have been feeling the pain, but sometimes I've had this happen too. The client started feeling the pain 2-3 days after, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna get better. I'm not gonna go anywhere. I don't want to go to the doctor. It's gonna get better. I'm just gonna drink some ibuprofen."
I'm that.
And-
I'm a victim of herniated discs. I did it. I was trying to be funny, and I did pick something up that I shouldn't have tried picking up at work. Haciendo me papi, and I heard it. I was like, oh, that didn't sound right. Went on, and now I have 2 herniated discs, not dicks. Sorry.
was that when you during an inspection with Safe Point?
That was not when I was doing an inspection with SafePoint. Thank you for that. No, this was when I was doing something at home. I was doing something at home. I should have done. I saw what you did there. You got me. I wasn't ready for it. Yeah. So. But yeah, you have to definitely check it out because
Yeah.
I took Tylenol. I was like, whatever. You pulled a muscle, and dude, the older you get, our bodies. I went to Universal last Saturday. Okay.
Teenage daughter, right?
Preteen.
Preteen. So
Preteen. So Disney World's done for me. So like, that's something. Sorry to segue back, but that's something like enjoy Disney now. Enjoy it because then like, and it sucks because I kind of like, and I turned 40 this year. I'm like, man, I kind of miss Disney World, right? But my daughter now loves Universal Studios, right? We're a Harry Potter family, so. If you've known me, if anybody knows me, I'm always wearing Vans, right? Because I'm a big kid. I feel like, I'm not going to wear like Skechers or anything. Yuck. And I don't have money to like buy like badass shoes. So Vans, economical, and they look good.
They're good shoes.
Right. They're actually horrible shoes for you.
Really? I have them too. I like mine.
They're horrible. My wife tells me all the time, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad. And I would always wear them to the parks, whatever. Last Saturday, we go to Islands of Adventure. And if you haven't been, there is a ride called Popeyes. And if you haven't been on Popeyes, it's dramatic. Like it's excessive how much you get wet on this ride.
Yeah, we've been on
Yeah,
it.
It's the raft, right?
They have
right?
like a thing to dry yourself after.
It's
like
ridiculous.
The hurricane air stuff.
Like if you've never been on, like I'm a professional. I'm a veteran when I go to Universal Studios now. So we take the whole bag and we go directly to the water rides first. You already go with your little bathing suit, with your little Publix or Sedano's bag in your bag for the wet clothes. So we get wet, and then we go into our dry clothes, and we continue on. But my point, I went in sandals, and I was like, I wasn't gonna pack shoes. I'm gonna wear sandals throughout the day. I had some reef sandals. Wore sandals throughout the day. I have now destroyed my left foot. I have plantar fasciitis on my left foot.
Oh.
So yeah, we have to take care of ourselves. That's the big thing. You know, the older we get, you fall, you think, hey, I'm a man, whatever. Check yourself out. I thought about it once. I fell at a Fresco y Mas. I was by the, look how your eyes opened up. I saw dollar signs.
Funny enough, I represented supermarkets for a long time before I did this.
Well, I fell at a Fresco y Mas, right? I was by the refrigerated section where they had the freezers on both sides, and then like the low boy freezer that you can just reach into. And whatever else, I turned, and as I did, there was water, and the carrito, the cart, like skidded, and I skid, and my chin hit the bar. I was like, whatever. Like the thing that I was like most concerned of if anybody saw me, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
So I kind of like did the
embarrassed.
the quick check. All right, let's go.
I'm good.
Toughed it out, whatever. Man, later that day, I thought, bro, if I would have just laid there, I would have said, hey, right? Is that something you would justify if I would have called you and said, hey, I slipped?
She would have told you that you needed to go get checked out.
Get checked out.
Yeah.
You
But what
have to
happens
be
if it was
injured.
something like that? Like if I fell, is that you would I would assume you'd have to now like go subpoena, get video, make sure that I fell. Do you retain me? Do I have to pay you once I retain you? Do you take money from the case? How's that work?
No. So the first thing we would do, if you call me and tell me that that's what happened, we send out a letter to the supermarket to preserve any video if there is any video. Usually, if you fell, if somebody saw you, they're gonna come up to you and they're gonna do an incident report.
Let's say they didn't. Let's say
If they didn't, if you just got up de la pena, and I'm sorry, I keep throwing Spanish words in there. If you're
No,
just
that's
so
fine.
embarrassed and you're just gonna get up and you're gonna leave, we pray to God that there's a video. You call me a few days after, those videos record over themselves. So you gotta call your attorney
within 30 days, I think.
yeah, sometimes even less. Sometimes I've represented supermarkets and in 7 days it re-records.
Because they're on a cloud.
Yeah. So it depends. We send out a letter to them and we tell them they got to preserve the evidence. We send it certified mail so that we have proof that they received it. And, you know, if you got the letter and if you have a camera and if that camera was there during that time and the camera should have captured this fall and now you no longer have that footage,
We're done.
no, there's a presumption that you're destroying the evidence because it's negative for you. So it could go, you know, sometimes they just preserve the footage and give it to me. Sometimes they give me a hard time to give me the footage and I have to file a lawsuit and then they give it to me after the judge is like, just give her the damn video, you know. But we look at the video and it depends because people think, oh, I fell, I have a case. No, it doesn't work like that. There has to be a negligence. So
Negligence, but there was water there.
that doesn't necessarily mean that they were negligent. They have to have, so there has to be, the condition has to be present for an unreasonable amount of time for it to be considered negligent. Because
Yeah, so it couldn't have been a kid that was just walking by previously, dropped
Correct.
some water, nobody saw it.
then you don't have a
It
case.
becomes
Correct.
negligent if the kid drops the water 20 minutes later, an
Correct.
employee walks by,
Exactly.
looks at it, doesn't do anything, and then continues walking, then that would be
Now we
negligent.
have a negligence.
Wow, see, this is
Yeah,
It sounds like a
very
Good team.
educational. It's very educational.
it is. Typically, there's not like a hard line, but typically if it's been there for more than 15 minutes, you have a good case.
All right, so back to my scenario. Ready?
Go.
So, all right, I called you. Hey, ring, 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 ring.
Mendes Injury Firm, how may I help you?
Hey, it's me again. I took your advice. I went to the doctor. I got checked out, and I have herniated discs. I have my paperwork. They did MRIs. They prescribed me. They actually referred me to pain management. So now my wife is telling me call that attorney that was super nice. So what do I do now?
Well, typically your attorney from the first call, you're already going to be with your attorney.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
They're going to stay with you until they see what's going on. They're not going to let you go because somebody else is going to pick you up. And the market here, I mean, you see all the billboards, right? Like, they're not going to let you go. When you call and you tell your attorney, I may be injured, your attorney's going to stand by and wait and request the records and review them and be on top of it. Because if there's a case, they don't want you to go somewhere else.
And that's
Yeah.
good. You're already helping from the beginning with the customer service.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're following up, you're helping them out, you're requesting the records, you're reviewing them. Sometimes I get the records even before the client gets the records, and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm looking at.
So back to the scenario, and you're already helping out from the beginning. When it comes to retaining you, how would that work? In what stage would they say, hey, look, I'm already working with you. Here's like our contract.
From that phone call,
Yeah. Day one.
day one. Because so the way that it works with insurance companies, if you're represented by an attorney, they can't talk to you directly. If you're not represented by an attorney, then they're going to try to call you, and then they're going to try to close out your case for pennies.
You're talking about Freco, any of these, anybody, insurance companies
really,
in general.
it's not really
Well, it's
the
very similar then
supermarket.
to like homeowners insurance, right? When you have a claim on your insurance, they want to give you bullshit, and that's why there was like a big issue here. I think like about a couple of years ago, where they were doing all these insurance agencies were being litigated, and they had to settle, or they were settling out a bunch of homeowners insurance
So what you're saying,
cases.
right? So like if there's damages and somebody did something, they're already calling you. So if I get into an accident and there's a police report conducted, the other insurance company finds out that I'm the victim of the crash, they reach out to me first. They can't do that.
If you have an attorney, they shouldn't. They do sometimes.
To close it off in the beginning, and here looks 10 grand, and it's
Well, it depends.
No, they call you to ask you, hey, what type of injuries do you have? How did the accident occur?
Yeah.
They do the same thing with their insured as well.
Oh.
They call their insured and
How
they say,
you
hey,
feeling?
how did the accident
but
happen?
that can actually,
Hurt your case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you already gave.
What if you don't know? What if you said no? You would have already advised the client, hey, the insurance is gonna call you. Say, hey, I have an attorney. I
Yeah,
would
but what
assume
happens
From
if
that.
that happens
get-go.
before that?
No, it
I've
won't.
had it happen before
Oh,
that.
it
And
can
then to
happen
me,
before.
it doesn't matter. Depends on when they called you, right? Because if they called you right after the accident, like we've said, your adrenaline is through the
Oh,
roof.
you're stressed
you're
out. You
not-
don't know what's going on. It could be the
Yeah.
first time that
Excited,
ever happens to
excited
you.
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't
So
know.
it happens all the time.
So that would be inadmissible. Would you say those statements would be inadmissible because hey, my client was under representation at the time, and you questioned my client without.
It's not that it's inadmissible, but there's something in Florida called bad faith, and everybody, including attorneys, we all have a duty to work in good faith, right? And there's rules and procedures and regulations in place, and they don't want to be exposed to any bad faith litigation, so they're not going to do that. Once you call our office, immediately we let the insurance companies know, hey, we represent this person. All communication goes through us because they're not your friends. Right. Insurance is a business, and they're in the business of making money, and paying you out, that's the opposite of making money, right? That's losing money. So they're going to try to do anything and everything possible to not fix your car, to not pay you out. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of these claims are legit. Like, people do get really injured. Sometimes you see the car and you're like, oh, that car's fine. That person's fine. They're not, right? A person's not a car. A car is metal. You're not metal. Right? A car is going to absorb that hit in a different way than your body is. The movement that your body's going to make in the car. I mean, I have one in which you look at my client's car and you're like, well, nothing happened to the car. And then you look at my client's face and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what happened to your face? You know, so it's back to the point. The insurance company is not your friend. They're going to call you. They're going to try to, if they think that it was a nasty injury, they're going to put money on the table right away. But they're going to put pennies. They're not going to put what your case is really worth.
That's what bothers me about insurance, right? Like, I understand it. I understand the value of it. But then, like, they try nickeling and diming you, right? I had a home claim for a water damage. And they wanted to come and give me $2,500. Like, oh, no, this is it. I spoke to an attorney. And it was well over $2,500.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I think it didn't even meet my deductible,
That's
right?
crazy.
For water damage in my house. So it's like, dude, you don't want fraud. You don't want all this stuff, but the insurance agencies make themselves the enemy very easily,
Oh, yeah.
right?
But
So then you have people saying, hey, I'm going to stick it to you, you know? So
But they don't care because that's something that you still you have to pay at
Correct.
the end of the day. So
Correct.
they really don't care.
well, no, they do care because private entities left Florida. They fled Florida for
Oh, that is
homeowners
true.
insurance.
For the
Now you
homeowner
can only
stuff.
do state insurance, right?
Yeah.
sure with property. I know that my friends that do property a few years ago, 2, 3 years ago, I don't know, everything changed and everybody was freaking out because they changed the way in which attorneys doing property claims get paid to significantly diminish the amount of monies that those attorneys were recovering after they closed the case.
Yeah, I think they were getting like 21%.
I don't know what the percent was, but they changed the law to make the cases less attractive, right? Because, now they're really gauging their cases, and unless it's something that they're going to really recover and it's going to be worth their time, they're not going to take it. So the people that have like smaller claims, they're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
So, what made you get into injury?
Back to public defender life. I was there very briefly. The drive was brutal. The workload was crazy. And the money wasn't good, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people that work there, they either, they had roommates and they're all in a house, or they, their spouse was making a lot more money, or they came from money, or like the background was different. I didn't have that. I was like, it was me and my mom, and like I was helping my mom pay all the bills. The money was very, very little. They get paid once a month at the end of the month, and it is, if I tell you how much I was making,
No, I believe it.
it was really bad. So I wanted to make it work. I really did love it there. The most amazing people. They're very professional. People think, oh, if you got a public defender, they're not good attorneys. That's not true. They're amazing attorneys. They're in court every single day. Those people have the best relationships with those judges because you have...
No, it's every day.
Yeah, you have a courtroom that's your assigned courtroom, and you're going to be in front of that judge every single day.
With like 40 cases on file.
More, 200 more.
On the docket. Yeah.
And it's the same. You become like a family. You, the state attorney, and the judge. You guys are like, you guys are her kids.
And the bailiff, which is probably the most important person in the room.
You form a relationship. So I was there for some time. I love it there. I have nothing but good things to say about them. But then the money wasn't there.